Hey, what's up everyone? It's your boy Rock Clever. This is my next video. It is all about in the wild. In the wild basically being in the wild of while driving black or while walking black, while anything in regards to your color or skin and how you're perceived by law enforcement. This conversation came up lately between me and the person that I'm seeing, and we were discussing like how cops usually always like to engage black men or Latino men of color and actually stop us for just anything. There was a situation for me years ago where I was on the way home from work. At the time I had dreadlocks, so I had locks all the way down my back. I had very long hair. And I'm just driving in my Toyota Camry. It was burgundy, no tents. And I remember distinctly I was listening to Green Light because B-Day just came out. So this was years ago. So I'm driving down the street, minding my business, and I get pulled over. So I get pulled over and basically he's like, do you have any warrants? Do you have any drug paraphernalia or drugs in your car? Do you have any concealed weapons? All these like really wild questions. And I know I didn't have anything. I haven't had a criminal record ever in my life, more than a traffic violation, if you want to call it a criminal record. I've never been to court for anything major. So, besides tickets, but that's just the American dream. Tickets. But, you know, it really came down to, like, before I looked up, this one police car, now there's 6 police cars. And they're searching my, well, I gave them permission to search my car. Pause. That's another thing. If a cop ever asks you to search a car without a warrant, just say no. They don't have permission to search your car. It's against the law. And unless they have a warrant to search your car, they can't search your car. So anytime a cop does ask you, the answer is no. But me being young and stupid, I didn't know not to let them search my car. But they didn't find anything anyway because nothing was in the car. But, you know, he's searching my car and he's like, you know, looking for this. He's like, it's like, there's nothing in the car. And so they pat me down, which was fine, and he tapped my pocket, and in my pocket I had a wine opener that I used at the bar that I worked at the time. And you said you didn't have any concealed weapons. It's like, sir, this is a wine key. Unless I'm going to screw you to death, there's nothing I can do with this wine key. Of course, this was a white person who had pulled me over. And I will also back the story up and say that my mother, when she raised us, she didn't raise us under the idea of white oppression or the man is holding us down or any of those kind of, you know, conversations. She always taught us that if you didn't like somebody, just don't like them. It has nothing to do with the color of their skin, their gender, or their how much money they make or anything like that, monetary value, any of those things. So I've always been taught to dislike people on the merit of them and their actions, not of their character. So for me, I've never, you know, had an issue dealing with white people or people who are outside of my race because I just never was taught that. And I've always worked in environments where I've worked in very multicultural environments, multi-ethnic, multi-religious, all kinds of things. I have friends who are white, Jewish, agnostic, atheists, black, Caribbean, European, Cambodian. I have like all types of friends. So it doesn't really make a difference who you are. If I don't like you, I'm just not going to fucking like you. So after all this is all said and done, another cop who's on the scene is one of my regulars from when I first bartended at my very first job when I was like 19 to like 23. So he walked up. He's like, oh, he's a good kid. Let him go. You know, blah, blah. He's fine. And the cop that pulled me over was like basically like, no, I'm not finished yet until I find what I need to find. We're going to stay here until I'm finished. So me and the other cop looked at each other like, this motherfucker's serious. So I was just like, well, you can search on all you want. An area I lived in, if you're from the DMV, I lived in Temple Hills at the time. And it's not hood, but we all know things that are on the inside of the Beltway, pretty much. I'm going to leave you to your own interpretations of that. So I was like, sir, you can go ahead and search all day. While you're searching my car, people are getting murdered, people are getting robbed, people are getting raped. Knock yourself out. There's nothing you're going to find in there because I'm literally just coming off work. I smell like food and alcohol. And it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Just finished working brunch at my job. So I probably smell like mimosas and oranges and shit. So he finds nothing. I got no ticket. I got no warning. Nothing. Not so much even. I should have got his fucking badge number. But what I'm saying is, in essence of the situation, is that for some reason in this country there's this belief that racism is gone and that racism is done and that civil rights has done its job. It hasn't done its job at all. I think since Barack Obama's been president, I have noticed, especially in social media, people are more vocal about their opinions about African Americans and saying the word nigga and saying derogatory things about black people and how they feel about black people in this country in general. Especially like today, I read an article about Paula Deen using the N-word and wanting her workers to play as slaves in a wedding. Paula, just stick to eating and being fat. That's all. That's your job. You eat and you get fat. You survive diabetes. Keep your mouth shut. But this goes into this whole aesthetic that people feel like that racism is gone and is dead, and it's still very much alive and well. And especially in racial profiling, it's very real. And my thing is, you don't want to be in a situation where you're uncomfortable and you're afraid, especially when you're a boy like me who's from the suburbs, very green, and you don't know how this can turn around. Cause I don't know about any of y'all. Like, you see Rodney King. You've heard about Rodney King. You've heard about his instances in social media or in the news about people getting hurt or assaulted or pepper sprayed or tasered or whatever by like rogue cops. And let me just say this about cops. Me personally, I am not really fond of law enforcement in general because I know how they respond to people of color and how they judge us all, especially men. And that's if I'm walking down the street or driving wherever I'm going. My thing is this. If you've been bullied as a kid or you have been somehow hurt, or if you feel like being a cop and wearing the badge and wearing the gun and wearing a holster makes you more of a man and absolves your past, you're in the wrong line. You're in the wrong profession. I think you need to really seek counseling before you want to be on the street and on the beat trying to harass me when I'm minding my own fucking business. I would like to get what I have to fucking get, and I'd like for you to leave me the fuck alone. Yes, I know I'm black. I look at it every day. But what I need you to do is leave me alone because I'm just minding my business. Just because I play my music loud and I like to drive a little bit faster than most people does not mean that I'm on drugs or that I just beat my baby mama or I am like running from something. I'm just probably late to work like I always am, and I need a good tune to get me there so I can focus because DC traffic is some shit. Anyhow, what I'm saying is, my Latino brothers, my black brothers, any brothers of color who y'all all know, especially if you have a ethnic hairstyle like cornrows or locks or a bush or whatever or afro, whatever you want to call it, or you may have like lines and cuts and designs in your hair or you're tattooed. These are the things that I feel like cops look for in determining the bad guy. So, what are your thoughts on this, and what are your experiences with racial profiling, and what have you seen and what have you felt? And even if it's just not for the men, what about you ladies? Like, do y'all experience this? I have no idea what women go through in this situation. So, leave your comments below, and also check me out on Vine, Instagram, and Twitter under the name Rod Clever. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.